Ankita, thumbs up. All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome to just a high over New Year's 2022. And if you truly acknowledge that you had choice, what would you create as your life, your living, your future, your reality? What if every choice, hi Pooja, what if every choice that you make, every every choice that you make as you're creating the future, creating the future in which money is just the byproduct. Oops, it's not just about money, you mean? I just heard your heads. My head used to also go into that tangent most of the time. But what if it was not just about the money? What if it was more about what can you create? What would you choose to create? What is your choice in this moment? These 10 seconds. If you could choose, what would you choose? And what would that choice create as your future? So how many of you have done the How to Become Money workbook here? Yay. Oh, yes, two hands, like Sugandha says. Me, yes.
On myself, by myself, Di.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes, I will.
It's wonderful. That's wonderful. You can do it on your own. You can do it with a facilitator, or you can just, all of your friends can get together and just read, or however you want to do it. The thing is, look at that sexy woman, Samantha, who's just hopped on. The basic idea is to get to read that workbook, because it truly is, not very many people are aware of this. And I just wanted to put this out there because we're talking about the money workbook here. The original How to Become Money workbook came even before the clearing statement did. So even before the clearing statement came and, we started to do our pocket podding, the How to Become Money workbook, which is actually a conversation between Raz and Gary, came about. And we all know that Gary created his entire life. He changed his reality, his financial reality, from where he was in debt, he was bankrupt. Hey, Ruth, so good to see you. Happy New Year. She's this wonderful, beautiful friend of mine. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And it was just so wonderful because he actually created his entire life based on How to Become Money workbook and the bars. And then came along, of course, the right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, which was again a paragraph long clearing statement when it started out. And today we just have a sentence which goes as a clearing statement. But that was just the evolution of the clearing statement. And that is also how, Access initially started. So it's just about us acknowledging the power, the potency of these workbooks. And then the Advanced How to Become Money workbook was created by, wonderful Gary Douglas. I love this man. I just simply love him. Oh. This book is absolutely brilliant. And, I was in Rome when, at the CF training, when we had the book launch of this book. And Gary said, guys, if you want to go, there's a new book, go and buy it. You know how he makes everything insignificant. You know how Gary is, he makes everything insignificant. Even this book, like really, how can you make this money workbook so insignificant? So I went to the bookshop and I bought the workbook. And after that, I just cannot begin to tell you guys. I remember coming home the first time and saying to myself, I'm just going to go through this and maybe I can finish it in a couple of days. It doesn't seem to be so difficult. It's just easy peasy, really easy peasy. Every time I would read it a couple of hours, maybe an hour or half an hour, I would go off to sleep. It would be like I had been drugged. I could not sit for a minute. I was like, I have got to sleep. What is this? And this is after doing all the COPs and after doing all the, the body classes and the advanced body classes and the maestro. And I was like, oh, I've done it all. What is this money workbook? Nothing. What can this do to me? And it was really strange and it was really amusing as to how much this truly started to change in my world. So one part of this, this when this actually started, the first when I started to read the book, the very first line is, the first question is, what am I refusing to be that if I would be it, would create too much money in my life? Like, what am I refusing to be? So what are you refusing to be? That if you would be it, would create way too much money in your life? Are you refusing to be happy? Yeah, that. I was just coming to that. Like, are you refusing to be happy and choosing to be serious because only when you're serious can you create money? How can you be happy and create money? It doesn't make sense. It's not logical, right? I mean, how many are you not willing to be joyous? Yeah, to be joyous. That energy of being joyous, being happy, being mean, being nasty, being kind, being soft. What energy are you not willing to be? Fun. And everything that brought up, would you destroy and uncreate that, please? Rich, rich, rich. Totally, Ankita. Go for it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot. Online shots, boys and beyonds. Wrong. Yes. Wow. That's big one, Nishi. It's like, you're not willing to be wrong. You've got to be right. But what if you allow yourselves to be wrong? What if you allow yourselves the wrongness? What if you just allow yourself that? And you don't have to fight that anymore. What could that create as your reality? So one of the key elements to having an enormous, amazing, and creative life is the willingness to receive. Because in order to receive, you have to be willing to be. You have to be willing to be. What you are not willing to be is that which keeps you from receiving. Oh, Ruth, thank you, sweetheart, as are you. So when you're not willing to be is when you're not willing to receive. So the very first chapter is being and receiving. And we have different chapters like problems or possibilities, and we have chapters like sexualness and receiving, and a whole lot of other chapters there. And this particular, the very first page gets you to be so present with who you be, that you start to acknowledge that whatever you're receiving in these 10 seconds, whatever you're receiving is what you're willing to be. So if you're receiving money, you're willing to be money. Yes, Sam, go for it, darling.
Is my voice audible?
Absolutely, as are you, visual, beautiful lady.
So, when you speak about, sorry, my daughter is busy playing by the side.
Don't be
So,
sorry.
with your question of, are you what you're willing to receive right now is what you're willing to be. Is that also a measure of how much money I have? Meaning, if I have less money, quote unquote, does that mean I'm receiving less, or am I being less? And, if I have lots, does that mean I'm being more and receiving more?
Great question. So it's not really about an equation. It's not really about that this is exactly equal to that. Because it's really about, It really is. Yet it's about it's your willingness.
You can make me the host.
Yes. It's really about your willingness to be more of you so you can receive way more. So now when we say you want to be more, does that mean you have to be more money and you have to start splurging money or wearing money or doing money or being money or, like what is that, right? What is that? When you be more of you, Sam? Question time. When you be more of you, girl?
So funny, I blanked out
I know.
for the past 1 minute. I'm like, okay, what is she saying? It sounds fun, but I did blank out.
No worries. So, darling, when you be more of you
I
is
am
when,
being one.
is when you're willing to have no point of view. Every point of view you give up, you embrace your being a little more. With each point of view that you're willing to give up, you step into being a little more of you. Thank you, Ruth. She says meme. I don't know what I said though. Whatever I said is a meme. Did you get that, Sam? So when you're actually being more of you is when you're actually being willing to give up the points of views. You're actually willing to, and okay, so it's not really about, I have no point of view, so I'm just going to sit without a point of view here. It's really about looking at every point of view as an interesting point of view. Having no point of view and having an interesting point of view is a different point of view.
Already
Another
flying.
meme. Another meme. Interesting point of view is acknowledging that you have a point of view and the willingness to be interesting point of view about that point of view. Where everything starts to be interesting point of view, including money. Yeah.
Thank you. You're frying us right away.
Oh, I'm so glad. I am so happy when I do that. I am so evil. Double fryer, deep fryer. Any questions, lovelies? Yes, Suman.
Like now, from 2, 3 days, this is going in my world. When I had money, I usually give it to people when they are in need. And when time comes to get back, I'm not getting it back. So, as in our money and business class, also, I discussed this with you. So, I was going through that. Ki now I love money, but still, I'm realizing that this point of view is there with me that I give money easily, but I won't receive it. Matlab, returning back is so. My question here is, if this point of view will go from deep all layers, then automatically the things will change in my reality.
Yes, darling, which is why Gary constantly says money is not a problem, you are. In other words, it's your receiving, right? It's like, what have you refused to receive? What have you decided you can never receive? That if you started to receive, would change your financial reality. Like, who have you decided you would never receive from? What have you decided you would never receive? That if you put your barriers down to that, would have you change your reality. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So when you're looking at somebody and they are in quote unquote need of money, and you're like, oh, okay, you are needy of money, and I have the money, so I can give it to you. You want to ask, What need am I operating from that has me creating neediness in people around me? Everything that brought up, would you destroy and uncreate that?
I did not understand that.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. When you have a point of, yes, I will, Sam, after this. So when you have a point of view about um, when you have a point of view about need's a lie, right? Need is an invention. You as an infinite being do not need anything. You choose. You choose. But if you've made need real, if you made the need of money real, if you made the need of love real, if you made the need of a healthy body real, you're going to create the neediness of that around you, which can show up as an unhealthy body, which can show up as needy people, which can show up as lack of money, or which can show up as a business which is constantly eating up all your money and in need of money. So what need are you operating from that keeps the neediness around you real and true and significant? Everything that brought up, would you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So when you recognize that need is a lie, will people that are needy show up in your reality?
When I'll realize it's a lie, then they will not show.
When you start to acknowledge that need is a lie,
Mhm.
will neediness show up as your reality?
No.
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 So what have you made real, true, significant
Right.
about neediness that keeps need real, true, and significant as your reality? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. You know, Suman, there's a beautiful app. You've got this by Dane here. And in one of them, there's this brilliant shot. It's like a loop. I'm forgetting the name of the call. I will put it.
Leave the link.
Yeah, please, Sam. Thank you. It's something about need. I'm forgetting the exact name of it. Sam will put it. If you want, you can download that. It is absolutely brilliant. I ran it for 6 months on myself in 2000 and in 2020 when we were at the ESB in Bombay. That's when I got it, and that's when I put it on a loop for 6 months. And I started to recognize all those areas of my life where I was operating from need, where I was making need real and true. And we talk a lot about need in this workbook also. We do have a section on need. And I started to recognize how our very existence is based on need. You need money, you need food, you need love, you need a lover, you need children, you need a spouse, you need a house. What if all those needs are what has been sold to you by this reality? And if you had choice, what would you choose? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to go to Ankita and then I'll come to Sam's question. Yeah, Ankita.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi,
Ma'am,
sweetie.
ma'am, my question is, I earn lakhs of rupees, and by the end of the month, my accounts become zero. And this has been,
Another one. Oh my God.
and this has interesting point of view. Like, I know money is coming and it is going out, but I would like to explore a new possibility here.
Yeah. So what you're talking about, Ankita, is a great example of creating money. Shilpa says the same with me. Wonderful. So it's like the willingness to create money, the willingness to have money are 2 different energies. And again, I'm not tempting you here, but we have that section in this book too. So yes, so it's like your willingness to create money. right? So when you're creating money, you're having fun. You're creating something that's magical, that's fun, that's the possibilities, or and the byproduct of all of that is money, right? The byproduct of all of that is money that shows up. Now, are you willing to have that money? Are you truly willing to have that? Are you truly willing to have that?
Yes, ma'am.
And get the energy of that. How much are you truly willing to have? Everything that brought up, would you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, on 9 shots, boys and beyonds. What you are truly willing to have is what you are willing to be. Because if you have a point of view that money is not going to stay, money comes, money goes, or bills are more, inflows less, those are all the points of views that doesn't allow you to be. And like we talked earlier, you be you when you be interesting point of view. So when you're willing to give up, when you're willing to start giving up all those points of views that you're using to limit you, so you can truly be the greatness of who you be, is when you're willing to have the money. So great question to ask when money doesn't stay. And, of course, you look at your points of views and you be interesting point of view about that. And now you go into, okay, what is it about money that I'm not willing to have? What do I love about hating money? What do I hate about loving money? And that's the energy that you want to play with. Because if you're willing to play with the energy of what you truly love about hating money, is when you will start to have the money. Did that give you more clarity, Ankita?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling. You're welcome. Okay, I'm just going to read a little more and then I will come to your question, Sam. True receiving is being able to receive all the information there is. It is the capacity to perceive everything without a point of view. You have to be willing to receive if you're going to have the life you truly desire. This one line, if you get it, if you truly get it, the conflict, the fight will melt out of your world. If you are going, you have to be willing to receive if you're going to have the life you truly desire. If you're willing to be all money, you can have all money. If you're willing to be all control, you can have all control. If you're willing to be different, you can have totally different. How different is it to have money? How normal is it to complain that you don't have money? I mean, look around you. 99.9999% of people are complaining that they don't have money. 99.9999% of the people are complaining that money comes in, but the bills are bigger. 99% or 9999 people are cribbing about how COVID has ruined their business. And the few that say, oh, COVID's been good because I've created money, also, but they go into a but. But the money doesn't stay. So what is that about? That is your unwillingness to receive. That is your unwillingness to be different. Are you willing to be so different that you never have a problem with money? Yeah, get that energy of your willingness to be so different that you never have a problem with money. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shots, boys and beyonds. Would you be judged for that? Yeah. Would you be made wrong for that? Oh, yes. But would you use that to stop you? Would you allow that to stop you? Or would you look at it and say, interesting point of view, you have that point of view, and keep creating your life? I remember I once, there was a conversation happening in one of the classes, and somebody said, oh, Gary, these people are all the time trying to stop me, and there's so much competition, and there's this and there's that. And Gary just heard her, and then he said in such a beautiful, kind energy, he said, are you creating enough? She said, yeah, I'm creating. I have a lot of classes and so he says, wow, you still have time to be aware, to look at all of that and make it so significant. You're probably not creating enough. So how much would you have to create, guys? To not have time, to not have the time to bother to make significant what people say, do, be about you, about how different you are, how wrong you are, how whatever you are. What if you could just keep creating and creating and creating and creating your life? Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shots, boys and beyonds. I'm so glad this has been a contribution to all of you. Thank you for your feedback. I love reading the chats as I talk. Every person has a willingness for money, but every person has not. Then how can achieve this 100%? So I got a question from somebody privately, because she loves me. She doesn't love the rest of you. She says, every person has a willingness for money, but not every person has it. Then how can one achieve 100%? So, sweetheart, there are a lot of conclusions in this. If you see that, it's like every person has a willingness for money in itself is a massive conclusion. If every person had a willingness for money, or a willingness to receive or to be the money, what would this planet be like? Would there be any lack? Would there be any need? So, you want to look at, when your questions come from conclusions, darling, and this is not to make you wrong or to make your question wrong. Please know that this is just to get you to get aware of, we often ask questions from a conclusion. But does that create? No. Because now we made a conclusion and now we are asking to change our conclusion. So we are asking, we are looking, we are seeking to change the polarity. We are not looking for an awareness to be interesting point of view. Because what is a question? A question is something that's like an algorithmic interrupt, right? So when there's an algorithmic interrupt in those 10 seconds, you're being interesting point of view. And now what do you choose? But when you're coming from a conclusion, you're asking a question from a space of right or wrong. And now you're looking to change that polarity of the question. So does that really create greater? No. Right? It's not like a trifle sequencing system, because it's not something that's repetitive, but it keeps you going from point A to point B, to point A to point B, to get the right answer. Because there is no right answer. And when you try to understand people, as to when everyone is willing to have money, why don't they? That's your need to understand why. But every time that you go into the need to understand why, you will create that as your reality. You will create the lack of money as your reality to understand why they wouldn't have money. What if every choice of whatever anyone's choosing, whether it is money or whether it's not money, whether it is need or whether it's not need, what if every choice people are making and you are making is just an interesting choice? Not a right choice, not a wrong choice, just an interesting choice. And what choice can this now create? What is possible with this choice? I hope that clarified it for you, darling. Okay, I'm now, any questions or should I go to Samantha's? If anyone has a question, please go for it. All right. So Sam has a question. Could you share more on being a financial healer? Sam, can you unmute yourself for a second, darling?
Yes.
Yes. And by the way, I love what you're wearing on your head. Oh,
So it's a filter. I thought I'll just,
it's a filter? I thought you
Yeah.
actually got one of those, this Arabic look,
I know.
So beautiful. I love
But
it.
it's Advanced How to Be Money workbook. Let me all look goldie.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay, so I would like, if I can ask you this question as to what if you can ask this question from exactly where it's coming from? Like you asked it in a beautiful manner. Yeah, Aladdin's genie, absolutely. She is, Ruth, you said it, she is. Yeah, so what if you can actually ask this question from the space of lightness? That's for you.
Is it okay if I can share something more?
Go for
that?
it. Absolutely.
I mean, something that Suman just brought up with, lending money, or, that's something that I've observed with my parents. And so that's where the question was coming from, where are we looking to heal financially?
Are you?
I'm not. It was so heavy when I asked that question.
Yeah, which is why I was like, is this really Sam's question or is she trying to understand someone here?
Yeah, I am trying to understand.
Yeah, that, right? So when you try to understand somebody, it's heavy. It's heavy. It's not real. It's not true. But have you embraced the heaviness of this reality, of lack of money, of the need of money? Have you embraced the lies of this reality, the financial insanity of this reality? And have you now tried to make that right? And or like have you created a matrix where you find yourself stuck in, unable to get out of? Everything that brought up, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, online shots, boys and beyonds.
I was just reading this particular book. Every time I used to never get sleep, I used to pick this book.
I'm telling you, it's a lullaby.
I know. Initially, and I'll be like, I thought, something was up with me. Only then did I realize that it was the book, and the amount of point of views I was letting go while I was at it it's just amazing. And the more we did it, there was so much more lightness and in being present with the book. So if you guys have done your practice foundation and have read your How to Be Money workbook once, this is the next book easily. I was reading this one particular topic of 108, if you have the book.
Yes, 108. Yeah.
Of just choose.
Yeah, just choose. We hear that so often, right? Just choose. Like when I started with Access initially, and I would meet people and I'd be like, oh, I want to do the class, but these classes are so expensive. Oh my God, they're so expensive. I really want to do the class. That was really the way I would come from, the space I would come from. And I would hear people turning around and saying, hey, just choose. I'd say she's crazy. What does she mean by just choose? Till I actually got what just choosing is. Because when you choose, you be the demand of you and the request of the universe. When you choose, you don't allow anything to stop you. When you choose is when you know that you be the source of creation. So it's truly your willingness to be the greatness of you, your willingness to embrace the greatness of you and not allow anything to stop you. So I'm just going to read this paragraph now that you know. I'm just going to read first the chats. It's impossible. I have this book since 6 months. The moment I open, something pops to distract me. Till now I haven't. Oh, that's so true, Smriti. Oh my God, I just so get that. Totally. It's impossible to read the first time all the way through without support. Absolutely. Conclusion or awareness? What are you aware of, girl? When you choose, you don't allow anyone to stop you. Oh, meme. Thank you. I love the way Ruth's written out my memes for me. Thank you. So a class participant said, sometimes I ask, what would I like to create? And I don't necessarily know how to create it. I said, how do I create it is not a question that opens a door to possibility. Ask, what would I have to choose here that would create this?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that line, right, Sam? That line. What would I have to choose here that would create this? Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive that. Could you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, 9 shots, boys and beyonds. She said, I asked that, and then I don't have an answer. I said, that's because there is no answer to what you have to choose. There is the only possibility of what you can choose. So you just choose. Now this line, I mean, if you look at it, you know, there is no answer to what you can choose. Why is that? Because every time you go to an answer to what you can choose, you go to a completion. You go to a conclusion. You do not go to a possibility, and that's not a choice. You know the 4 elements of creation. You've all done the foundation, which is why the foundation is a prereq for this class. The 4 elements of creation: QCPC, question, choice, possibility, and contribution. I love calling it QCPC. That way I never forget. So I'm like, my everyday living, my everyday breathing is QCPC. I remind myself, am I QCPCing here or am I going to conclusion? So you look at question, choice. So when you ask a question and then you choose, that's when the possibility shows up. But when you ask a question, instead of choosing, you go to conclusion, that's when the completion shows up. With choice, there is no completion. With choice, there is only movement forward, constant movement. That is choice. Because the moment you've gone to choice and conclusion, you've gone to a completion, which is the end. But with choice, it's a constant movement. If you're not doing constant movement, if you're not being constant movement, you're not choosing. You're not creating your life. You're stagnating. I said that's because there's no answer to what you have to choose. There is only the possibility of what you can choose. So you just choose. She said, oh, that's what you said the other day. Just choose. I get it now. So that's just a little section from this wonderful, beautiful workbook. One of my favorites personally. Yes, it's the name of a barrister who knows what's appropriate to say. QCPC. You're welcome, Ankita. Welcome, darling. Yeah. So any
Thank you
questions
so much.
around money? You're welcome, sweetheart. Do we have any
I
questions
love
around
it.
money
The
or?
chapter is called Even. It's called Money is Easy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that chapter, right? Where it's money is easy. Yeah. So actually, when you look at that, when you read that chapter of where it says money is easy, which is chapter 8, which is and the 9 chapters, you start to actually recognize that I just made it difficult. I made it difficult. What if money was easy? Is that normal? Yeah. So what is possible, guys, to create a financial reality that's truly beyond this reality? One of ease, one of joy, and one that's so different. What if that's truly possible for all of you? Yes, you can do a symphony session on money, but truly, what is it that the greatest symphony session is choice?
That is now a theme.
Yeah, right. I mean, that is the most potent tool, choice. I mean, the other day, they gifted us a beautiful, beautiful ESC, which is like an energetic synthesis of communion. And there's so many of them that are free on YouTube, and so many that Dane does every New Year's. And if I'm sure you can find them and listen to them. And he said something very beautiful. He said that the energetic synthesis of communion, which is the energy of the earth, so when you start to be that, you start to be the energy of creation. Because have you seen how the earth's constantly moving? It doesn't stop, it's in constant movement. So what if you can be that with money? What if you are being that already, but you haven't yet acknowledged it? And what if you acknowledged it today? What could that then create right away? Right and wrong, good and bad, button walk, online shots, boys and beyonds. Suman, did you have a question? I did see your hand up some moments back.
I just want to share that as soon as Sam said, I realized, yeah, I am a financial healer. So whenever anybody in my space comes up with a need of money, I create the money with ease and I give it to them. So, and then I was thinking, what should I do next? Then that thing came, that choice. So what I realized, now it's very simple. Okay, my creation is this, and now I have to choose whether I have to keep on continuing uh, giving or fulfilling their need, or I have a choice to create my own financial reality and my own financial world, what I want, what I desire.
So are you truly a financial healer, or
Yes,
do you have fun creating for others?
fun creating for others.
Yeah.
Both the things.
Yeah.
Both.
What if it's a capacity? What if it's not a wrongness? And now, how much greater can you create, knowing that you have choice? Giving money away is a choice. Spending money is a choice. Having money is a choice. Creating money with money is a choice. Creating money with the future as your future is a choice. What are you choosing? What are you choosing? What if none of it is wrong?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Spending money in affliction, absolutely. It's one of the greatest addictions because you think every time you. So, how many of you actually have misidentified and misapplied spending money as power, spending money as fun, spending money as owning? I mean,
Spending money is the purpose of money.
purpose of money, that, like the purpose of money is to spend it. Wow.
And
All
the
those,
provider.
yeah, all those points of views, would you please just try and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, hot, talk on 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Recognize when you have that point of view, you will always, always, always spend it. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And acknowledging, wow, I have a lot of fun spending money. How much fun can I have having money? Changing the energy of that. Right and wrong. God bless Priyanka. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork on 9 shots. Boys and beyonds. All right. So yes, coming to the class. Sam, you want to take over, please? I shall tempt them with this, while you tempt them with your voice and with Adhya.
Okay, so A, thank you so much for showing up, because it really, really takes that commitment to show up for a call that's about 40 to 60 minutes. Really, that is such an acknowledgement of you showing up so much more for you and for the choices that you're looking to create with your life and living. So this is an amazing class. We've made that very clear by now. We have this class starting from the January 9th to January 24th. And the timings are 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Indian Standard Timing. Would you like, I would actually love to have conversations with you guys. I would love for each of you, as long as your being is feeling tugged or you're sensing the tug of your being for this class, just hit me up. The rest is going to be history when you join. The timings again is 6 to 7 p.m. Amol, thank you so much for asking. So it's going to be fantastic. It's a consecutive class, which is something I personally love. It's nice to belt it out at one shot. And Chandana is facilitating it with so much of generosity, kindness, that you wouldn't leave or even know the limitation leaving out of your window. So, hey, just ping us and we'll walk you through the rest of it. Jan 4th to Jan 9th to Jan 24th. Thank you, Channa. It was amazing. Just this.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, everyone who joined us. I'm so super grateful. Every conversation that we have around money creates a change. Every conversation around money creates a possibility.
Thank you, Channa. Thank you. It was
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
Thank
Though I
you,
missed it because I came late, half of it, it was wonderful.
Thank you, sweetheart. And you will get the replay too, Manju.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm so grateful for everyone joining. And have fun. Don't make too much money this year. Don't have too much fun.
Thank you. Yay.
Bye. Love you all.
Love you. Bye.